going to announce the reasons why Al's not here too? Why Al? Okay. Yeah.
Good evening. I'd like to call the February 20th, 2018 City of Oldsmar City Council to order. If you'll please rise for our invocation and our pledge that will be led by our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Trask.
Heavenly Father, we meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, as well as the rights and needs of both the individual and our community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations and on our efforts here today. This we pray.
Amen.
Before the pledge, if we could have a moment of silence for the people that lost their lives at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School and their families and friends. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And to keep you on your toes, we've shuffled things up a little bit. I'll just give you an update. Our Deputy City Clerk, Kathy Horvath, has had some surgery. If you follow the meetings, you know that. She's doing well, as we understand. Today was her first day without pain medicine, and so she just wishes she could sleep at night, and she hopes to be back soon. Felicia Donnelly, our Assistant City Manager, is filling in for our City Manager, Al Braithwaite, who had a family emergency that he had to go tend to, so keep he and his wife and family in your thoughts and prayers as well. He should be back tomorrow with the city, so he'll be back tomorrow. So that's a little change up. So Felicia Donnelly is filling in for Al, so thank you very much for that. First is our Citizens Open Forum. We only have a couple of rules: that you state your name and address clearly for the record. You keep it to no more than 5 minutes, and you can speak towards anything on tonight's agenda, and there are no public hearings, so you can address anything on tonight's agenda. Having said that, anybody on this side of the room like to address the council? Seeing no one? Anybody on this side of the room? Nope, easy, this is great. Anybody in the room? Seeing no one, we will close the Citizens Open Forum. I'll do a quick recap. Mayor's Minute. Oldsmar Elementary field trip. This was really exciting. City Hall welcomed to the third grade class from Oldsmar Elementary, did a quick tour of all the departments, and then they did a mock council meeting to vote on a new mascot. I believe it's the owl, right? The owl is, so there was some heated dialogue. They were all sitting up here. We had a mayor, a vice mayor, a city attorney. She did a pretty good job, Tom. So okay. This item number one, we might want to talk about. But it was really neat, and I sat over there and watched the mock city council meeting, and the young man that was, Ryan, that was taking my place, he must have taken notes verbatim from our meetings, because it sounded like a little mini-me up here. But it's really neat that that the school has embraced local city government, so that was really kind of neat, because I know when I went and did a Great American Teach-In 2 years ago probably, and talked about a little bit about government, they told me that they get about 3 minutes a day to talk about local city government. And so it was neat to see the interaction with the kids. They had a great time. They had people that got up. One lady wanted to open, I don't know if we have this in our ordinance, but she wanted to open a jet ski rental place on our pier out at the park. So, and then the other one, what was it about? Chickens? I think it was about chickens or something like that.
So stay tuned for future agenda items.
Yeah, stay tuned. And it is on YouTube. I'm not exactly sure where. Do we have it on our site, Deb? We do? myoldsmar.com, and you can find it. It's pretty interesting, and we've isolated just that particular part of it, so pretty neat. And it wasn't just one third grade class, it was the whole school's third grade. So there was about 90 kids running through City Hall, all piled into Al's office, and it was just, it was pretty interesting. So we hope to make that a regular thing. Holiday Sharing Fund, Bike Rodeo, that was this past Saturday, offered free bikes and helmets and inspections, free helmets if needed. Bike obstacle course, thanks to Famous Pizza for supplying the pizza, and the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber for providing drinks. Drawing for a new bike went to a local 9-year-old. It's for first one he's ever owned, so kind of neat. That's a charity that I'm on the board of as well, the Holiday Sharing Fund, where we collect money and donations for bikes and helmets for kids at the holiday, but we also do some of these events as well. Pinellas County Commissioner Maroney, the city was honored to sponsor Commissioner John Maroney's 23rd annual and final appreciation dinner for law enforcement, firefighters, and EMS. His generosity through the years for our first responders had been amazing. Congratulations to him and his staff. John has had several battles with cancer, and since this was his last year, he picked the charity, and they raised over $80,000 for the Moffitt Cancer Center at the dinner. So I do understand that Commissioner Janet Long is going to take on the last 2 years of her term to do something with the charity. So, but John's always done a great event. Upcoming events, the USA BMX Skater Nationals starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Oldsmar Sports Complex. I just went by tonight and they're only practicing, and the parking lot was already 3/4 full. We're expecting, if you've never been, it's $5 to park, or you can park next to City Hall, and PSTA is going to be doing a shuttle over there, but it's free to get in, and we are expecting, this is probably a record, 1,200 to 1,400 riders from all over the world, including past Olympians. So keep an eye out for that. It's really exciting to watch them. They probably go, not counting the pros, but they probably go from age 5 years old on a Strider to, I think, actually, our previous city manager is the oldest BMX rider in the state of Florida, but we did have one, I think. There's no chance he's going to watch this.
That's true.
But I think one year we had somebody that was almost 70 riding in the event. So one more item, free electronics and chemical mobile collection. Saturday, February 24th, this Saturday, 9 to 2 at the North County Satellite Site. That is a little bit south of Home Depot in Curlew, right by the GTE Financial Credit Union, whatever it's called. It's a great system. If you had some paint, actually I might do that. If you have some paint or electronics, you can drop them off. I don't think you can drop off TVs, so I tried to do that one time, and you can drop off LEDs, I think, flat screens, but I tried to drop off an old tube TV, and I had to take it down to the landfill. So anyway, that wraps up the mayor's minute. That might have been a minute and 10 seconds, but anyway, who's counting? Nothing on our Community Redevelopment Agency. Our next is our consent docket. Approve payment to legal counsel, approve the request to waive bid requirements, and authorize purchase of sodium hichlorite, anti-scallion, I guess, sodium scalant, sodium hydroxide, and fluoride chemical feed pumps and skids from Garden Equipment Incorporated for the reverse osmosis water treatment plant. The third item, approved the tentative agenda for March 6, 2018, which, do we have that? Mm-hmm. Okay, we do have that, March 6, 2018. If nobody wishes to pull anything, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes. A couple of changes real quick to our agenda. If you're following along, we are going to flip-flop items 7 and 9, and also, since Al's out, we will postpone our presentation of the Employee Service Awards until the next meeting so that Al can do that. So having said that, it is the presentation of the Council Manager Award, and that will be Councilmember Beaverland.
The guy without the coat.
This is an incredible honor for me. It really is. And Jeanette and your wonderful husband would come up here a minute. His name is Art, by the way. I have known these two forever. There's a lot of, I'm going to read just a little bit, and then I'm going to get on to what I want to say. First of all, I think this is pretty exciting, importantly exciting. The Holloways give credit to their success to God for direction and wisdom, the loving efforts of family and friends, and the encouragement of their community. And I take that personal also. In their time and their talents, we have citizens here in Oldsmar that have lived here. They don't live in Oldsmar right now, but they're still citizens of Oldsmar. They'll be citizens of Oldsmar forever. They own land in Oldsmar forever. The Holloway Funeral Home was started by these two wonderful people. You want to introduce them?
Yes. First of all, we do not own the funeral business anymore. We were able to retire in January of 2014, thanks to two employees that we had at the time, one being Scott Hickey and his wife, Carrie. The other two are David Meyer and his wife, Heather. And thanks to them, we were able to join the ranks of senior citizens retirees.
We don't say senior citizens around here. You might, I'm called, thanks to the mayor, I'm called the old.
Older than dirt.
Older than dirt. Welcome you two. Thank you both. There's a lot of people that have lived in Oldsmar through the years. My beautiful wife and I have been here for 52 years. And there's still people that live here that's always under the radar. They never get recognized for so much that they have done for the city. And that's why Art and Jeanette are up here now. They're a beautiful couple. And those are the ones that have been under the radar for years, right, Dan?
Yes, they have.
He knows what they can do with the bicentennial. Here's some of the things. They've been patrons of the beautiful Oldsmar Library for a long time. They've been indulged in Oldsmar functions forever. Oldsmar Cares, Oldsmar Little League, Friendship Playground, when it was in all of its glory, Adopt Class. They sponsor the Oldsmar Elementary School, the Cypress Lakes Elementary School, Oldsmar Chamber of Commerce. And it says they're grateful citizens of Oldsmar. No, Oldsmar is a grateful city for having you two wonderful people.
Thank you very much.
It's I have a habit of grabbing around her neck, and then Art tells me, remember, she got a bad neck. I've already done it twice tonight, so I won't do it again. But I will hug him.
Okay.
We cannot honor you two enough.
Thank you.
You not only been great friends, and my beautiful wife and myself, but you have been incredible friends to this city and to this council. And thank you for everything you've done for the city. Oh,
Our pleasure.
this is a little token.
Thank you so much. It's lovely. Thank you.
Well, let me read it. Council Manager Award presented to Art and Jeanette Holloway. I guess I should do that. February 1918.
He is old. Here, is this your first council meeting?
You didn't hear this.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, City Council. I must admit that you're not quite as scary as the City Council I stood in front of in 1986 trying to get the permission to open this funeral home. So I appreciate that. But no, Jerry has been one of our staunch supporters from day one. And Jerry, we thank you and Wanda for that. And even though we don't live in the city of Oldsmar at this time, our hearts will always be in Oldsmar. We're very proud to have been a part of this city, and it will always be a part in our heart. Thank you very much.
Not much to say. We started with Mom, Pop, and the baby in the playpen, and the baby's now 32 and we're blessed with twin grandchildren, a boy and a girl. They're 5. So time marches on, and we're very blessed. Thank you.
You have blessed the city, and thank you too so much. I know the council thanks you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Photo op.
I usually just jump down.
No problem, Debbie.
Just hide under the desk.
Ladies in this city are always the boss.
Oh, we got that on tape. Thank you.
I warned you about that. You don't scatter. Thank you. Congratulations, yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Art. Good job. Well, you deserve, well deserved.
Next item is the presentation to our Vice Mayor, Dan Saraki. If you'll join me down front.
It's a good time.
Oh, kind of ruined the moment. It's my pleasure. Dan is really a big advocate of the Suncoast League of Cities and even the Florida League of Cities. And I remember from the first time that we talked about you getting involved in council, you wanted to know about the city. And then once you were elected to city council, you wanted to know more about the government and how they work. And so you took the emo class, and I'll let you explain a little bit about it. But you have now taken another class, and you've gotten your emo 4 municipal leadership certificate. And I'll read what it says. Certificate of completion dated December 8th and 9th, 2017. Kissimmee, Florida, awarded to Vice Mayor Dan Saraki, City of Oldsmar, sponsored by and signed by the Executive Director of the Florida League of Cities. And tell everybody what emo is, first of all, and then what emo 4 really was.
Thank you, Mayor.
What's it stand?
It's elected officials. That's basically a training class for elected officials can go to the Florida League of Cities to understand how the government works. And then EMO 4 was a very unique class because on Friday afternoon we had to take a personality test, and that personality test broke us up into groups. It broke us up into 10 people that were extroverts and 10 people that were introverts. So when you're involved in that type of a personality of leaders that are in the state, it was kind of very unique listening to them about their views of their city and where they're headed and where we were headed as the city of Oldsmar. The next day, Saturday, it was an open session where usually EMO 1, EMO 2, EMO 3 was strictly presentations, videos, PowerPoint presentations, and speeches. This wasn't. This was a free-for-all. We had to go up onto a board on a wall, and we had to pick certain items that each person would like to talk about. Someone picked annexing, water quality, sewer system, reclaimed water, different things about what are happening in the city, in each city around the state. And then you got to pick, myself, I got to pick which group I wanted to be into. Well, I went into water quality. And what I found out was our city of Oldsmar, we are blessed for our water quality we have here. We have our own reverse osmosis water plant. We have a reclaimed water plant. We have our own sewer systems. Most of the people that were there, they either buy their water from the county or they don't have really anything at all, especially most of them didn't even have reclaimed water. So we're blessed. And then I went into other classes, annexing, learned how that works. I explained how our city does annexing. Other people do it totally different. So the class, by the end of the day, by 2 o'clock, I had to get back here for the Holly Jolly tour, for the Christmas tour. I got in my car and I was leaving Orlando. I thought my head was going to explode. It was just so much knowledge of these 20 people from around the state for the inaugural class of EMO 4. I learned so much. And while I was driving home, I started thinking about our city and the people behind me. Jerry, Gabby, the mayor, our city manager, our city attorney, and Eric, we have an amazing team in place. And you have no idea how blessed we are to have this team working together. Each one of us have positive, different attitudes or different ways of thinking, and each one of us work together to make sure that our city's very successful. And we are blessed to have this team here. And I'm just honored that I live in such a cool city. Really, really thankful. And Emo 4, they say they're going to do another class. I don't know if they're going to, but I was honored to be a part of that. I learned so much, and I just want to thank all the city council, the mayor especially, for his leadership, what he's done for our city. He's a stepping stone for me in learning, and my goal is to continue to learn, and if they have an Emo 5, I'm going.
Congratulations. And I can tell you, and Tom can back me up or has even indicated this before, that we sometimes don't realize how lucky we are as a city, because I'm a resident as well. We're all residents of the city, but how lucky we are that we all do work together. We may have differences of opinion, but at the end of the day, we listen to each other. And Tom will tell you, and without naming names, but that's not the case. There are 24 cities in Pinellas County, and sometimes when they put their oars in the water, they're all rowing in different directions. So we are very blessed to do that. And I remember, and I'm sure we have different stories when we go over to the Florida League of Cities for the annual conference, and we talk about, our sleepy little town of Oldsmar, and you're right about the reclaimed water and the reverse osmosis, and that we're our own water supply, and they're like, and you're a population of how many? And so they're really shocked at how forward-thinking we are, and it's because of the leadership now and the leadership in the past, and obviously our former city manager, Bruce Haddock, and the staff and everything, but we are very blessed to have such a great city. So congratulations, Dan, on your Emo 4.
Thank you, Doug.
Yep.
Appreciate it very much.
Good job, Dean. I think she has thousands. We have a green screen, so just hold button. To just like as an image of our chair. Pass it over.
And just a little bit about our city. I don't remember. Deb, do you know when the article's going to come out? Do you know that we talked to her about today? Is it Friday or the weekend?
Oh, the weekend, I think she said.
Talking about bragging about our city, we have a piece of property right next to City Hall that's about 8 acres, and we're working with a commercial real estate firm, CBRE, and Tampa Bay Business Journal just did an article on it about what the city would like to see on there, and look in the paper, which will probably be online for you, because I don't know that people actually still go by the paper, but look online, and there's going to be a great article. We spent about 30 minutes with the writer of the story talking about this property and what we envision on that, kind of a mixed use. I don't want to get into a lot of detail, but kind of a mixed use downtown area for the city with a boutique hotel and residential property and commercial property and the like. So look for that in the paper. That should be exciting for our city as well, and we really hope it takes off this time.
They actually have an app, too. Just-
Oh,
You don't have to buy
the newspaper? Yeah.
I have it.
Well, I don't buy it. I went into the store the other day and they had completely moved the papers. I don't even know where they are anymore. So, but at any rate, so congratulations, Dan. City Attorney, do you have anything?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
And we are going to flip-flop, turn this over to the city manager, but we're going to start with number 9 first, and then number 8, and then number 7, just because that's how we roll.
Confusing.
So number 9, or the new number 7, addresses the budget revision for this current fiscal year. And you all have the budget revision details in your packet, but just to highlight some of the items that are over $25,000, includes in the general fund, we're requesting an additional appropriation to replace the HVAC system at the fire station. It has been problematic for a while at this point, and that's in the amount of $150,000. Under the parks line item in the general fund, we're requesting a replenishment of the capital line item in association with
$76,000, and it's to replenish the capital fund after the purchase of the Kuntz property.
Okay.
So the next big one is in the capital improvement fund, and you'll see revenues and expenditures that equal $250,000, and that is for the Douglas Trail Design Agreement to fund that in this current year's budget. Some of it was appropriated in last year's budget, and this is the balance of that. There's about $25,000 in last year's budget. And then the last you'll see the revenue and expenses for in the water and sewer operating fund, and that's $2.9 million, and that's really to fund the water main project downtown as we near the actual construction of the project. And then I have to read the resolution. Yep. So the resolution is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, revising the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2017, and ending September 30th, 2018, authorizing the city manager and the director of administrative services to revise the existing budget, and the city manager recommends approval of the resolution.
Thank you. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second for discussion.
Second.
Any questions or concerns from staff?
I was curious.
I mean, from council?
I was curious how old the air conditioning unit was at the fire department.
Chief? Roughly? I think it was 1918, I think.
I heard it was a good year.
That for the rest of my
It's the
life.
original system from 2002.
Okay.
And we had, a couple of years ago, had a couple folks come in to take a look at it, and we'd put some money in as you knew, we'd put some money in the capital budget at that time, and the first estimates came back way over what we had in there. So the city manager at the time and I had discussed it, and we had one bad year with a lightning strike where he probably spent $10,000 or $12,000 repairing it, and it's finally got to the point where it's no longer operational. So we're working on some window shaker units as we speak.
Are you really?
Yes, we've had
When
those.
you guys fight fires, you can take a little warmth, can't you?
That's what I was thinking.
Plus, the new unit will be more monorail.
Oh, more efficient.
Yeah, more
for
It will,
efficient.
absolutely.
Right.
Although, later in in that same motion is actually for us to buy some equipment where we can fix our own. So I was thinking maybe we just buy it and we try to fix it no?
Yeah.
My toolbox has a cell phone in it. I don't fix anything.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions from council?
I have a comment that why y'all should vote for this resolution. You should vote for the Beaverland family down here for $2,900,000 so we can finally get rid of our 1953 water lines in front of our house. We'll finally get pressure. Please vote for this.
I don't know. I was going till then. But, yeah.
You don't care for the shell lines anymore?
Yeah, we like our
You don't-
yellow water.
How many times have I brought up the broken water lines?
Oh, yeah.
No.
We probably had a good 12 of them.
Well, yeah, and it can't be efficient either. So I think that's a big
We don't
part.
have any water pressure.
Yeah.
In fact, up on St. Pete Drive, right on the corner, they have to come in there every day and drain the lines
Bleed it.
every day.
See him there every day.
Yep.
So we don't have to drink all that junk that comes out of those old pipes.
Yeah. They used to for a while, even in this building, they'd have to come flush the lines because you would turn them on down in the chamber and just brown water would come out of it. So.
Vote for this, vote for this.
Any other discussion on the resolution? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. You can do them in either order you want now. We just needed that one first, so however you want to.
So number 8, to approve the amendment to Oldsmar Towns LLC purchase and sale agreement. The City Council on October 17, 2017 approved a purchase and sale agreement with Oldsmar Towns managed by Tony Tanico, and the development agreement was subsequently executed by City Council on November 7th. Mr. Tanico has been forthright about his challenges in finding a builder, and because of a merger and circumstances beyond his control, the selected builder was acquired by another firm and decided to walk away from the project. As a result, Mr. Tanico finds himself up against the first of multiple deadlines in the contract, and he has requested a 90-day extension to the inspection period, moving the original date from February 28th to May 29th. The city manager recommends approval of the purchase and sale agreement, and I believe Mr. Tanico is here to answer any questions that the
Yep.
council may have.
Would you like to add anything to that? I do have a question, really just out of curiosity.
Would you like a motion?
Yeah, motion, please.
A motion to approve?
Second? Whoever you got, motion in a second.
Hi, hello, everybody. Tony Tanico, Oldsmar Towns LLC, Palm Harbor, Florida.
I guess a quick question, and I don't know if it's all right to divulge who purchased them, but I know that they were, from what I understand from talking to Al, the city manager, the new purchaser or the acquirer was on board, I guess, for some time, through iterations, large company, obviously, but is there any substantial takeaway from why they decided not to that we could learn from?
No, I don't think it's representative of the project. I do think it's representative of the larger builder's business model.
That's what I thought.
And I don't know that it's a secret. The purchasing company was Lennar Homes. They were at the time that they announced the purchase, the nation's third largest home builder. They purchased Cal Atlantic, who was the builder we were working with. They were the nation's fifth largest home builder. Together, they're the nation's largest, so they're a conglomerate. It was a $9 billion deal that closed a week ago today. And that's correct. Up until maybe 3 weeks ago, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, they were on board. So the larger purchasing company was in the offices of the smaller company, and everything was a go up until the day it wasn't, really.
Yeah, and I venture to say they may not have even continued with the one. They have one right there off of Lafayette, too. Isn't that a Cal Atlantic community right there? Wasn't that Cal Atlantic? It's about 30 or 40 homes over there, racetrack and.
Yeah, down at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Somewhere
was
over in there, they
State
had-
Street. I think it was
yeah.
the end of State Street, the extension of State Street.
Yeah, the extension of State
Hillsborough
Street.
side.
Right, yeah, correct.
That's right. And that's already under construction. They're
Right,
selling
but
homes.
That might not have been some, because they're typically looking for hundreds of homes and.
Yeah, it's a smaller project for them. They're looking for projects that are 600-800 homes that they could just stamp out production.
And what's unfortunate about it, and good, we don't want somebody that doesn't want to be a partner with us, but, I've seen several presentations on the missing middle of home building, and I'm on the MPO, and we had a presentation here about the missing middle of that exact type of product that's missing in communities throughout the state, and for the millennials, and we've got Tuscany Woods, which is kind of an example of that. You got the one that's Madame Homes is building, that's kind of another example of that. So it's definitely something that I'm sure you'll find somebody, or hopefully you'll find somebody.
But we are working with somebody today. We're not under contract yet. We're working on the contract with that builder. They are another large national home builder who we have done business with in the past. So we have every confidence that we're going to move this deal forward and move it forward as quickly as possible.
Well, we look forward to hearing some good news. So any other comments or questions?
No.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I know that I'm the voice in the wilderness out here, but I've done work for Lennar Homes, and they've done projects that size before. They aren't looking for the big, well, they did the big one up in New York, I understand that, but they also do sizes that size, because I have done work for them in that size. I'm just kind of sad that this wasn't put together strong enough that it could walk on its own 2 feet.
Well, they were a week away from having to make a financial commitment that I think would have prevented them from walking.
Well, they walked away for a purpose.
Yeah, they did.
Well, and to Jerry's point, I was in civil engineering for 25 years and did a lot of work over those 25 years with Lennar, and they have done project size up. My city manager and I, not you, but my city manager and I live in a Lennar community in Oldsmar, and they do that, but as they've grown and grown and grown, it just doesn't fit their I assume their business model.
It's a bit of a unique product. I mean, you don't really find a lot of 3-story rear-loaded townhomes. You'll see them in downtown Dunedin. You'll see them in downtown St. Pete, urban, walkable, livable areas. So it's a bit of a unique product.
Yeah.
And because of that, there are less folks doing it.
Yep.
That's the reality of it.
Sure. Anything else, Jerry? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Well, Lennar Homes has been in business for tons and tons of years, almost after World War II. So it's not that they have grown so big; they're already big. It just again, I'm a voice in the lost voice in the wilderness. It's just, see, to me, it should have been strength in the beginning.
Yeah, it's
It
an
should have been
unfortunate
strength in the
situation.
beginning that we didn't come to this. What's going to happen in 90 days? Are you going to come back and ask for another 90 days?
No, it's not the intent.
Thank you.
How do you feel about the prospects of who you're talking with? Because
I
I
can
have
tell you
the
it's
same question
approved.
with Jerry in
It's
terms of the 90
approved at
days.
the division level, which is a division president here in Tampa that has, from Ocala down to Naples. Their operation is on the order of 800 homes per year built and sold. I personally had lunch with them and toured the site. In fact, we had lunch in Oldsmar last week, Flamestone, toured the site, and it's approved. And so what we have to do now is sort of ink the deal, bring it up through the corporate chain of command and get them to do the same.
Is this going to have to take as long again as it did? Because you can't use what you had. So,
Well, I had, just for clarification, right? Because I understand because of Lennar's involvement that there might be some copyright, some design issues as it relates to the site plan.
Not the site plan, those elevations.
The elevations, I'm sorry.
product
And so
itself.
clearly you realize in this process, that comes back and it goes through the approval process again.
That's
Because I
right.
think there were a couple of us who wanted to make sure we were seeing what we were signing off on.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's still the goal. We're still going to be a quality product. It's still going to be all those things we said it was from day one.
And,
Will it be
and,
the same elevation? No. Will it be something that comes in front of you for your approval? Absolutely.
and I guess, and I think maybe you kind of answered this, and I echo Eric's comment, but I don't know that you're able to share that with them or not, probably not.
What's that?
The elevations with the new perspective one?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cal Atlantic owns them, but I didn't know to what level, but are they comfortable with something similar to that type of a?
You know, each of these builders have their own product. So that was a product unique to Cal Atlantic that happened to, closely fit within the Mediterranean Revival section of the downtown town center code. I don't know that the new builder is going to go with the same Mediterranean Revival. There are 4 other options in that code.
We'll see what they bring.
We'll bring something else.
And they're aware of
It's our
it.
intent to start working with staff fairly soon to answer some of those timeline questions. We'd like to get back in front of the planning board on, I think the meeting is May 9th, if I'm not mistaken, which would be within our 90-day window, and then hopefully get to you. Do I have those dates right, Marie? When's the planning board?
It's the second Wednesday of the month.
Let me see. Give me 1 second. I just don't want to say that wrong.
while you're thinking there, Tom, we have to go through this whole thing all over again, right?
Right, any amendment to development agreement requires 2 public hearings. It'll be as if we're approving a development agreement from the beginning.
So we're
We have to
gonna
go through the
it all
exact
over
same
again.
process.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's a great thing that we get a chance to revisit it again.
Yeah.
So May 9th, just to clarify, we would intend to go to the planning board, and then you all have a meeting on May 15th. This inspection period takes us to May 29th, so it's our intent to get back in front of you, subject to notice and requirements, which we're still trying to figure out, but prior to that May 29th date, which would be
And-
your May 15th.
I'm
hearing.
pretty sure I know the answer, but they are aware, though, that it's in the town center and that there are.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, they have all the information that's been done on the project to date, including
I
our
think to some
executed
extent it
development
makes it
agreement.
more attractive.
I do too. I think it gives them a better product that being in the town center, so.
You don't say it that way, because when you say it that way, y'all voted for an inferior product. That's how it appeared.
No, I didn't.
No,
That's
that
not-
wasn't my point.
That wasn't my
No, I
point.
know that, but that's what he.
I was talking about the extra
Yeah,
code.
I understand. I'm not talking about, he just said,
No.
we may get a better product.
Well, we might. We haven't seen anything.
Well, I would hope that we didn't vote for an inferior product.
I loved the
before.
last
I
plan.
love the
I really
last
hope
one.
they stay
Why not
with
set our
that
goals
thing.
high that we can get even better, so,
That's not the question.
anyway.
The goals are always high.
So 90 days works?
To
Or
get
because,
back
I mean,
in
don't
front of
come-
you for a first reading at least.
Okay.
I can't promise that we're going to make the second reading by then. What I want to make sure is that the deal is strengthened, to Councilmember Beerland's point. In order to do that without divulging too much, there are financial commitments along the way. We intend for that financial commitment to be in place. The last thing I want to do is have another builder back out and then come back for
Sure.
a third time, right? So
Sure.
we're gonna sort of learn from that lesson a little bit, make sure that financial commitment's in place. That's scheduled right now. We have to still get under contract, do some paperwork, et cetera, but that's scheduled for May 1st. It's our intent between now and May 1st to work with staff on the renderings.
May 9th then would be the planning board, and subject to notice and requirements, May 15th for you.
Sounds like you.
There was a lesson learned, I guess, is to get the financial commitment a little bit.
Well, we
so
always do that.
But, so I mean, yeah,
It was a catch-22 because the city obviously required the renders to be in place.
Right.
sure.
So it is a bit catch-22,
those
you know,
two.
Yep.
a little bit out of the norm, being the seller and approving authority.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Look,
Any
thank
other
you.
questions?
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Opposed?
Hi,
Okay.
me.
Okay. Passes 4-1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Okay, the next item is to consider the authorization of the execution of the professional services agreement with Cardno for the design of the Oldsmar Trail Phase 6. Phase 6 generally extends along the north side of Douglas Road from Hayes to Racetrack Road. On August 1st, 2017, the council approved the ranking and authorized the city manager to negotiate the contract for the RFQ 2017-02. The negotiated contract, which is attached, has been approved by FDOT in accordance with our LAP agreement. It is recommended that this agenda item be approved.
Thank you. I need a motion for discussion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on this?
Nice to get to phase 6.
Yeah, it really is. Anything, Jerry?
I love our bike trail.
Oh, it's great, yeah. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Passes 5-0, thank you. Anything else? That's it. City Clerk?
Nothing.
We need to make sure we note who's at the meeting and who is not, and how quickly we finished with this, with the current lineup, right? I think
Yep.
It's always.
I don't know.
Forget anything happened. You gotta start after council comments.
I just jinxed
Way to
us.
that.
Next item is City Council, 2 items in there, schedule a workshop. Oops. Looks like we have 4 dates, March 13th, March 27th, April 10th, and April 24th.
So was the 13th meeting that we'll just discuss it during the town center code discussion as well? Or,
I'm a big fan of that.
me too. I thought that
We
was,
already got
I like
something
it.
on the schedule. It's
What
just-
date was that?
that was March 13th. We already have a 4 o'clock work session on the town center code. So they basically said they would conjoin the side discussion with that.
I'm fine with that, if everybody's fine with that.
Are you okay with that?
Check your schedule.
So what do we want to do? Do we want to start an hour earlier, or do we want to keep it at 4?
Is that okay? What?
You just need to be prepared, that sign code is probably an hour-long discussion and review. So
I mean, I'd rather do it all in one
I would
session.
So
too.
let's start at 3. Can we do that, Tom?
Well, I think,
Yeah,
we could do
whatever
4.
your pleasure is.
I don't care. 4 is fine.
Okay.
4 is fine with me, and then, if we go till 6, so
We order pizza.
we order pizza.
Okay.
Pizza.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can't believe that you missed an opportunity to maybe to get food. Like, by backing it
Good
up.
on the
Done.
13th.
Yep.
Actually, we'll just have Dean cook for us that night since apparently he's a good cook from the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
He's not a good AC repairman, but he's a good cook. So we are the 13th, and I don't know, how does that work, Ann? Do we have to notice it separately or together, or is all one, or how does that work? That's your department.
Just one agenda, it just referenced 2 things.
Okay, that's perfect, good. And next is comments by council members, and we'll start with Mr. 1918 down there.
Should I answer him? Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Felicia, on your, I guess you could call this your baptism into this. You did well,
Thank you.
and thank you for who y'all are.
Councilmember McGee?
I just wanted to make a comment. The Oldsmar Cares Gala was a great event. I loved it. My parents thoroughly enjoyed the Andre Bocelli tickets from the live auction.
Oh, wow.
My dad sent me a picture because they were 3rd row, and he said, they're pretty good seats on Valentine's Day, so they really loved that. And then just also thank you to Jeff for inviting us to his birthday party. Had a great time, and it was nice to meet the family and friends, and
That's awesome.
that's all I have.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't, I had to weigh out Jeff's birthday against my 5-year-old grandson, so
Stuff.
bounce house won. So, sorry. Yeah. Councilmember, Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Again, what Gabby said, Jeff's party was great. Thank you for that, Jeff. you have a great family. A lot of good people there. And then the second thing is the appreciation dinner. That was fantastic, seeing the firefighters' stories and the law enforcement stories of success of why they won these prestigious awards in Pinellas County it was just very touching, and I really enjoyed that. I'm going to miss John. I'm going to
Yeah,
miss him. He's
he's a good people,
a very,
even though he made fun of me in front
Yeah.
of 500 people that I didn't have a date.
he told, it was kind of funny, he was picking on Doug at the dinner about how his date didn't show up.
I didn't have one.
I know, but he was
I
picking
know
on
they
you.
didn't show up.
Right. But then what was really cool is Dog got up, ran up on stage, cut him off, and made the whole place sing happy birthday.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, that was pretty cool that you did that.
Thanks, yeah.
That was very, very unique, and everyone loved it. The whole place was singing happy birthday. So that was very neat, Doug, that you did
Thanks,
that.
yeah. It was a very nice event.
And then the last thing I have is I'm going in for surgery tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, I hope.
You gonna be Hopalong Cassidy?
I don't know, I'll find out.
You and
I don't think-
have a race?
I don't know.
Oh,
Now he's pulling up the challenge.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm ready though, ready to get over
any
it.
words of encouragement for him?
You'll be, I had both of my knees done at one time, same time, both
Oh,
of
that's
them.
Oh
tough.
my
You
God.
will be so happy that you, in 5 months, 5 weeks, you'll be so happy you had it done.
Yeah.
Well, your knee is like the size of a watermelon right now.
Yeah, they actually put me on some medication to try to get the swelling down. They were so concerned because it's been bad for so long.
Yeah.
It's from when I played hockey with Debbie Pauley. She hit me with a stick.
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm not going to comment anymore.
Just tell you what, I've heard the story and she owns it.
Yeah,
I did hit him with the stick.
Her and
Sandy.
Sandy, oh, yeah, the checking. But that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Sado?
You'll do good. You will do
Yeah.
good.
Good segue into Sandy. So Oldsmar Day is coming up. I was under the impression, for some reason, I thought we did Saturdays at Oldsmar Days and Sunday at Oktoberfest. They're the other way around. So we actually do Sundays. I know I told some of you it was a Saturday.
Okay.
So it's a Sunday, which is the 25th, for us to do, pick up a shift for the beer booth as a council.
Yep.
And so the time is from 12 to 6.
Okay.
And so if you could try to make that, let me know. I'm going to work with Ann on us trying to fill out, make sure we have everyone. It's not just council members, it's,
Yeah, we've rotated people in
yeah,
before.
we've had members, volunteers from the board, and anyone who wants to come is
Yeah.
essentially welcome to come, okay?
That's good. Sundays are better for me anyway. That's kind of my wind down day. So.
Is it? Good. Jeff, sorry I didn't make your birthday. I tried. They wouldn't let me in the base. I don't know what that was all about. They immediately
Flagged you?
They did. It was weird.
Yeah, that was a unique venue.
That was a cool venue, yeah.
Congratulations, Felicia. Made it through your first meeting. It's pretty good, too. I'm right on track. Everything under the city manager's area passed. It was good. It was a good meeting. No doubt at all. No doubt at all. Oldsmar Cares, that was a great event. I worked very hard on it. Good turnout as always. Raised a lot of money. I think what was the final number was
In here with the final.
5.
105?
Yep, excuse me.
$105,000. So congratulations to them on that.
Most of it was in your wine.
Yeah, probably.
You were a big contributor to that number with your wine.
I finally picked it all up today.
Finally?
It took me forever. Well, they didn't keep it at Oldsmar Cares, understandably. Although they kept it at a bank. Anyhow, can't emphasize enough, if you've never been out to Gator Nationals, come out this weekend. It is so much fun. It's right here in town. We're talking about world-class athletes, and it's exciting to watch them as they're taking off the advanced ramp. And so if you haven't been out there, come out there at some point, enjoy it, because Oldsmar is known really around the world for that track. And so
They're not quite to our level yet, but one day they probably will be.
Yeah.
You mean my level when you say our?
I was trying to be collective.
you had to bring up her winning the race, huh, Mayor? And the last thing, just, Mayor, I want to thank you for giving us that moment of silence at the beginning, the meeting, the tragedy that happened in South Florida at the school.
I can't wrap my head around it yet.
You know, Ann and I were talking a little bit, and we both have kids that go to Eastlake High School, as do so many people here in Oldsmar. And it's frightening, and our prayers go out to them. It's funny, I was communicating with Dan Daly, who's a councilman down there. And it's been a rough, hard time for all of them down there. So we send our prayers and thoughts as a city. I know I've expressed that to him. That's all I got, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And on that note, I don't know if everybody's had a chance, but we authored a letter to the mayor of the city, sharing our condolences and things like that. I sell real estate full-time, and one of the agents' nephew went to that school, or still goes to that school, and watched the football coach get shot. And the sad part for me, and I sat at the Maroney's thing and talked to Senator Latvala, you know, about everything that's going on, and it's sad that the government broke down in this particular case, it appears, and that this potentially could have been avoided. You know, I don't know how many different types of signs you need to act on it. You know, when you hear after the fact that they went to their house 36 times, and that, you know, a lot of it, and I've had this discussion with Sheriff Gualtieri, is, you know, the medical part of it, you know, the mental capacity and things like that. But I just can't imagine, you know, the devastation that those people are going through. So, yeah, thoughts and prayers with them for sure. On a lighter note, as you indicated, the Gator Nationals, it is a great time, and I kind of briefly touched on it. Next to City Hall, we have about 8 acres. Deb Pauley and the PSTA have been working very hard. We're doing a park and ride with the Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority. You can either catch it at the lot, park at the lot, and catch it at the lot. It'll also be available to those people that are staying in the hotels. They'll make a stop right by Applebee's, and I guess maybe kind of in front of Flamestone. It'll be coming out on our website. And then they'll transport you to the Gator Nationals and drop you off. And the good part is for the riders, and if you've been there and we've all been there, is, you know, your kid or you may race at 10 o'clock in the morning, but you may not race again until 2 in the afternoon in another heat. This way, they don't have to take their car and leave the facility. They can catch on the bus, come back to the hotel, freshen up a little bit or whatever, and come back. So we hope that this is a good thing. And to Eric's point, I always tell this story when I brag, and if you're watching TV, Charlie Belcher will be here Friday and do 4 segments from the track. So I always like to brag about, as you said, I remember when, I don't remember who was all on council, but I remember when John David from USA BMX and came and talked to us about the relationship, and I made the comment, I think I was still in council member seat 3, but I made the comment about how cool it's going to be that Oldsmar is going to be talked about around the world. And he goes, no, my friend, Oldsmar is already in locker rooms and on calendars, on refrigerators around the world. And I still to this day get cold chills about that. Canada was out there today. Who was out there over the weekend? Austria or somebody? Switzerland was out there, their team. I went by today, and okay, and we're going to do a shuttle people from Curlew Creek Elementary as well, which is right there at the overpass on Curlew, just west of McMullen Booth Road. But the neat story that I have, and hopefully she'll be here, I've got her picture on my Facebook page as my profile, but in 2016, which was a qualifying year for Rio de Janeiro, the Olympics, Mariana Pajon from Colombia won our Gator Nationals, and Connor Fields for the men from the United States won the Gator Nationals, and then turned around and went to Rio de Janeiro and won the Olympic gold medal. So it's kind of neat that you know, that training came through our city. So very exciting. And there's a lot of past Olympians that will be here that have competed. So
And Gabby.
Oh, and Gabby will be there. Yeah.
If anyone wants me to sign anything.
You got your booth set up or anything? No, but it really is. And if you have kids, and I say it earlier, but it is generational. I mean, Bruce Haddock, our former city manager, he rides, his son rides, and his grandson rides. You got moms that ride, you know, grandmothers that ride. You know, they're not in the elite class off the big hill, but I'm gonna tell you, when you come down there, if you get a chance to watch those elite riders come off that big hill, they do the course in about 38 seconds. So that gives you some indication. And a big thank you to our city staff who have been working tirelessly. We just broke them in half with the New York Red Bulls soccer team. We gave them a week to recover, and then we're breaking them again. But the track looks phenomenal. I was out there this morning, and they've really done some great work. The reviews from the riders are that this is the best track. This is the best this track has ever been, and it was pretty dang good to begin with. So there are some other tracks in the area, but between us and Rock Hill, I think we have the best 2 tracks in the country. So we look for bigger things. So get on out there for that. I don't have anything else. Anybody else got anything? Tom, you got anything?
Nothing.
Felicia? Nice job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Al, you're on notice. No, I'm just kidding. Our thoughts and prayers are with Al and with you with your surgery, and hopefully Kathy gets back, and even Chris Hannon. You are running like a skeleton shop over there. Chris Hannon, which now is under you, but Chris Hannon's been out. She had surgery as well on her foot. So at any rate, wishing them all the best and speedy recovery.